now you've heard that the federal NDP held their national convention in Edmonton over the weekend. And I'm sure you've heard that the NDP voted to adopt the LEAP Manifesto. This is what the resolution that passed 60% to 40% said. The NDP recognizes and supports the LEAP Manifesto as a high-level statement of principles that speaks to the aspirations, history, and values of the party. Now, this high-level statement of principles calls for some pretty serious socialism and an end to fossil fuels altogether. This is directly from the LEAP Manifesto. The new iron law of energy development must be, if you wouldn't want it in your backyard, then it doesn't belong in anyone's backyard. That applies equally to oil and gas pipelines, fracking in New Brunswick, Quebec, and British Columbia, increased tanker traffic off our coasts, and to Canadian-owned mining projects the world over. So the NDP in Edmonton just voted to adopt the end of Alberta as we know it as their high-level statement of principles. And Rachel Notley and her wing of the party are pretending to be outraged, just mad about it. But are they really all that disconnected from the LEAP Manifesto? Well, the list of signatories of the LEAP Manifesto is online. You can go and check it out for yourself to see which businesses and rich actors and singers who now live in the US to avoid from here on out. You can also see which politicians signed it. And I found a name on that list I hadn't seen in a while. Her name is Jackie Gingras. Remember her? She signed the LEAP Manifesto last spring. She was also the federal NDP candidate for the BC riding of North Okanagan-Shuswap. And she has all the crazy ideas you'd expect a LEAP signatory to have. She hates tankers, thinks GMO foods are somehow poisonous, and she protests pipelines. And Alberta Jobs Minister Lori Sigurdson went to BC to campaign for her last summer. Last summer was a summer of pink slips and job losses in the oil and gas sector in Alberta. And yet, Sigurdson, the jobs minister, was campaigning for Gingras in BC instead of doing something, anything, to address the job losses in Alberta. And now we know Gingras was signed to the LEAP Manifesto. Do you know who else went out to campaign for Gingras the Leaper? Shay Anderson. He's the MLA for Leduc-Beaumont. You might remember him from such royal screw-ups as calling the farmers' behavior at the Bill 6 rallies extremely violent and brutal. Now, can I tell you something about Anderson's riding of Leduc-Beaumont? Nisku is in his riding. Nisku is the second largest industrial park in North America. It was home to oil field rig yards, fabrication shops, service companies, and trucking yards. Now, 1 in 2 jobs in Nisku has just disappeared. Yet while Anderson's riding last summer was spiraling into disaster, he was out campaigning for a LEAP Manifesto signatory. Someone who was campaigning and is still against the majority of jobs in Shay's riding. Campaigning for Gingras was a slap in the face for the people of Anderson's riding. And now we know Gingras was signed on to the LEAP Manifesto. And that makes it much worse. Rachel Notley is going to spend the next days and weeks trying to tell you to disregard all the actions of herself and her caucus over the years and to now believe the Alberta NDP support oil and gas. She can ask all she wants. We know better. Actions speak so much louder than any words. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.